Hey Internet, Eric here. Welcome to week 2 of Mary Shlockmas. Long story short, Patrick from Have Cheetah Will View and I are, there's no way else to say, we're attempting to torture each other with bad Christmas movies uploaded once a week every Monday in the month of December. This is week 2, and Patrick hit me over the head with the ball peen hammer really hard this week. Today, from 2000, I think it's 2014, I don't fucking know. I had to watch Kirk Cameron in Saving Christmas. Patrick, you son of a bitch. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Does it really matter if I spoil this fucking movie? We are following Kirk Cameron playing himself. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas party at his sister's house. And his brother-in-law is the typical, I don't like Christmas. I worry about money. Kind of like Charlie Brown. You know what I mean? Christmas has gone commercial, blah, 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 blah. I hate it here type of thing. And he goes out to his car. He's all grumpy. He avoids the entire party. Kirk goes out to the car and tries to cheer him up. The only way Kirk Cameron knows how to cheer people up, and that's through Jesus. But Kirk tries to convince his brother-in-law, named Christian, of course, that there is still Jesus, there's still Christ, there's still God in Christmas, and gives examples how, I guess. Okay. Was not looking forward to this. I am a man right now who is kind of looking for some faith, but I've gone through, I'm 42 now, decades and decades of not really being a fan of at least organized religion. Interested in some of the tales that are told in the Bible, but not really interested in the, I guess you would say, the organization of the church. And I was really worried about this movie being preachy, but I figured, you know what, let's give it a shot. Not as preachy as I thought. I'll give it that. First off, the acting is atrocious. Kirk Cameron is very good when he's the narrator. When he's narrating the scenes, the specific scenes, this represents this represents that, be good to your fellow man, yada, yada, yada. He's really good. When he's on screen, he fucking sucks. I don't remember Growing Pains. I don't remember the show Growing Pains. I don't remember I know he was the main focus, the star. I don't remember how good he was, why people loved him. He's not good in this when he's on screen. He speaks like this and does awkward pauses all the time. And then does more awkward pauses and more. And I don't know if it's just to stretch out the time of this movie because it's only like an hour and 20 something minutes, but he's not very good. The only other character that really you need to discuss is Christian, because everyone else is just in the background. Christian is just, I mean, I understand him. I understand his dislike for Christmas. I am not a big fan of Christmas because it does make me worry about money. I have some other reasons to not dislike it and this and that. And he is just like one of those, he's like, why do I need to like this? You know, I'm wasting money. We're supposed to celebrate Jesus instead of Santa, blah, blah, blah. He's very insufferable. I can't stand this fucker. And even though I understand his plight, I can't stand him. He's one of these guys that when Kirk is trying his best to explain all these situations to him, it's just, I don't want to hear it. He was like 3 seconds away from putting fingers in his ears and going la 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 type of thing. He's very insufferable. He's kind of argumentative, and not in a easygoing way. Like, I always say silver conversation is dead. This is like if he had a phone right now, he'd be typing it to Kirk Cameron in all in caps. You know what I mean? Can't stand this guy. Now, the narrative of this movie is they're sitting in the car, and Kirk is trying to explain how Jesus and the Bible and all the stories are represented in the different things of Christmas. The snow globe represents, I guess, the cave where, because I always thought it was a manger, but the cave where Joseph and Mary and baby Jesus had to go, I guess, go hide. I don't really know a lot of the stories. Had to go hide from sacrifices. I don't know. That's what that represents. And then also they go into a story about the the shroud, the basically the blanket that they wrapped a baby Jesus up in. They talked about how that was the only thing that was left over when Jesus resurrected, I guess you would say. I don't know. Lost interest. Um, then we find out, what does the Christmas tree represent? Apparently that represents the crucifix, what Jesus was put on when he was crucified. And it represents the the tree where the apple was pulled from Adam, blah, blah, blah. Really boring. The first story, really boring. And I'm really losing my interest because of the way that these two actors, Kirk Cameron and whoever played Christian, are working together. I don't want to say there is no chemistry, because they're just, one guy's telling a story and the other guy's denying it. But me not liking this Cameron, or not me not liking this Christian character, and then Kirk Cameron's just wooden, slow, awful delivery, I'm really losing interest. Until we get to the Santa Claus story, which I thought was kind of cool. After the build-up, Kirk was talking, like, the Christian guy. He was saying how, you switch the letters around in Santa and it's Satan. Santa is taking everything away from Jesus because now it's all about presents. Blah blah blah. And Kirk was saying that Santa, it's really awful. We have this close up of one of the uncles at the Christmas party. He's playing Santa Claus. He's got the beard that goes under the nose, so you can see his own brown mustache. It looks awful. But he says, Santa was a real bad dude, and by bad I mean good. Blah blah blah. He was a tough man. Blah, and it's focusing on that uncle just cracking his knuckles and trying to look intimidating, like he's gonna go fight somebody. You know what I mean? Losing it. Stupid. And it's like a good 30 seconds of that. Lame. But then he says, if you really wanted to know the true story of St. Nicholas, you'd be a bunch of guys in robes and blah, blah, blah. So let's picture it like Lord of the Rings. Okay, I'm getting ready. I just saw the stupid uncle cracking his knuckles for 5 minutes, and now we're going to get some Lord of the Rings. We don't get Lord of the Rings, but we do get the story of this Nicholas character. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't know the stories. This Nicholas character who used to give toys out to the children of the area, and he's just a mean looking son of a bitch. Like he carries a cane, he has a robe, his beard down to here, scary looking, and he walks into a bar, or where someone is, I guess, spreading negativity, taking word or believability away from the gospel, and Nicholas steps in and literally beats the shit out of the guy. A lot of the action happens off screen, I think because of budgetary reasons, but you see Nicholas throw the guy across the room. He throws him outside of the bar. He looks like he's gonna fucking stab him with his little cane that is shaped like a candy cane, I don't know, a walking stick, whatever. And it ends from there. St. Nicholas has his title taken away, as title of bishop taken away, but then his story grows, and people make him a saint, and then he becomes popular all around the world. They all want to worship this guy because he wanted to save the word of Christ. And it was kind of interesting. That story was kind of interesting. And then it ended with some lady saying, "Hey, you ready to go do this thing?" Basically, and it's a sleigh, and you got some deer, and he's like, "Yes, let's go give presents out to the kids." Ho ho ho. Then you lose me. Then that's all the stories. Then we're back to Kirk and Christian, and pretty much Kirk is kind of giving a guilt trip to this Christian guy, and it's true. He's kind of taking his dislike for Christmas out on his family. We don't see it, but we kind of put two and two together. And there's this long attempt at comedy. Hey, you should go in there and tell your wife, my sister, that you're sorry for everything you've done. Well, Kirk, you go tell her that she's your sister, but she's your wife. Blah, it's like duck season, rabbit season type of bullshit. It's lame. But he kindly gets, the light bulb above his head, and he realizes that he's been looking at Christmas wrong. He should look at it with, new eyes, faith, blah, blah, blah. And he busts open the front doors, and everyone looks at him like a weirdo. And, of course, Kirk's, we have the moonlight or the porch light standing behind him, and the light shining on him. You can't hit the fucking nail on the head even any harder. Kirk stands behind him, looking all creepy, puts his hand on his shoulder, And then this is where he's going to make his entrance and apologize. But instead, this is the problem with this movie. It's also the tone. We're trying to be serious, trying to show Christians some faith, how Santa and the Bible and all that stuff is still there in Christmas. And then you do this wacky, goofy shit. Because instead of Christian just walking in there, taking his wife by the hand, saying, I'm sorry, he literally runs in slow motion. Everyone's staring at him. He's running in slow motion. Big, goofy-ass fucking face. Leaps forward and slides on the floor like it's a fucking slip and slide. And he doesn't collide with the presents. Like, he stops like right before he hits the presents under the tree. And then he stares at the presents under the tree. And Kirk's giving his narration. And of course, Kirk's looking at the camera. Because Christian's eyes are open now, and he says, imagine the presents are like Jerusalem or Bethlehem or something like that. And above that is the tree, blah, blah, blah. So this is a long sequence. Imagine this if you were in the party. Some dude who's been sitting out in his car all day throws open the doors, slip and slides under the Christmas tree, stares at the presents, then gets up, walks over, stares at a nutcracker, stares at a snow globe, doesn't say a word. Like, people are wondering, is he having a fucking stroke? Is he drunk or on drugs? He gets up, he slowly walks to his wife, talks to her and says, baby, blah, 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 I was wrong, blah, 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 the usual stuff. And she says, well, what do you got? She says, I got something. He says, I got something planned for you. Don't know how he planned it. He's been talking to Kirk Cameron all night. She's like, what's that, big boy? And then this is where Kirk's like, this is where you probably expect, the stereotypical kiss. You know what I mean? And then Christian says, I hired a hip-hop dance group, and we're going to show you the meaning of Christmas. So you have like the only black guy that's at the party. His head sticks out. He says, I got you, man. That type of thing. Hip-hop breakdancing happens. I fast-forwarded through that, and it's 10 minutes long because I watched how much I had. I looked at it, it said like 20 minutes left, and I'm like, I'm not fucking watching 20 minutes of hip-hop breakdancing. I fast-forwarded till it was over. That took 10 minutes. 10 minutes of just spinning on their heads and dancing and being stupid. And then it cuts to this drunken old man on the couch drinking something. He's like, that's why I come to these parties. Again, the tone, I don't get it. And then we're now at Christmas dinner. We're at, everyone's at the table, giving rolls, taking drinks of champagne, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about how Christians' eyes have opened. And remember, this is your God and your Savior and yeah. So we're back to the serious part. And then we literally cut to Kirk Cameron looking at the camera. I don't know if he's supposed to be looking at Christian, but he's got a champagne and he literally goes. And it freezes like that. Kirk Cameron saving Christmas. I expected it to be a lot worse. I expected it to be a lot more preachier. But this was crap. I hated this film. It was so fucking boring. The only thing that kept me interested was the segment on St. Nicholas. That segment is maybe 10 minutes out of an hour and 20-minute long film. The acting is atrocious. Kirk Cameron. Oh, I forgot the most important thing. Before we even get to the Christmas story, we're hanging out with Kirk Cameron in the living room, with the fireplace and the tree and the stockings and all that. He's like, hi, everybody, I'm Kirk Cameron, or whatever. He says, I love Christmas. I love the cookies. I love the stockings. I love the presents. I love growing a beard at wintertime, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, oh, I also love the chocolate, the hot chocolate. Picks up and sips it. So fucking dumb, so fucking awkward, so fucking cheesy, so eye-rolling. I knew I'm going to get into some trouble. So you have all that. I like 10 minutes of it. Trash. Garbage. Hated it. So no, I'm not recommending 2014's Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron. Patrick, I hate you so much. That's it. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Comment below. Have you seen this? Why? Why did you watch this? Did you like it? How? Explain. If you hated it, tell me why you agree with me. All this and that. Thank you to new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has watched the Eric Fallen interview that is now available. Don't know if we have anything planned for Friday the 13th, me and Frenzy. We'll see. But if not, we still have more Merry Shlockmas to look forward to. Cheers, I guess.